Welcome to Your Cyber Path, the podcast that helps you get your dream cybersecurity job by sharing the secrets of experienced hiring managers and top cybersecurity professionals with you. Now, on to the show.
The first thing that we want to talk about is time off. Your employer really wants you to take time off. They want that for you because they want you to be rested and recharged. They do not want you to be burnt out. And so, paid time off is a common benefit that almost every employer is going to offer you in some form or fashion. But what's crazy is that I've seen some people so consumed with their work, Jason, that they don't take vacations or holidays for years. And a lot of places have use it or lose it type of leave accumulation programs. And oh man, I never wanted to lose even a single hour of accumulated time off. So that's our first tip. Now, Jason, how have you done with this tip for yourself, or do you want to talk about what you've seen with other people?
Yeah. So, I'll talk about myself over my 20-year career because it's different depending on where I was in my career, right? When I first started out, I was in the military. When I was young, 20 years ago, I joined the military in 2002. And in the military, you get 30 days of vacation, which they call leave every year. And you earn 2.5 days per month for every month you work. Very similar to like a lot of people that get PTO, and every, month that you work, you get a day off or something like that, right? Or 8 hours. The difference is in the military is every day is considered a work day. So if I take off a weekend that is a 4-day weekend, for instance, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, if you did that at a traditional bank, you would be charged for Friday and Monday because Saturday and Sunday were days off anyway. And so you might only get 2 weeks a year. Well, I got 30, but my days were counted for every day. So if I took off a 4-day weekend, I lost 4 days, even though that was only 2 days of actual work that I was losing, right? And so it sounds like a lot with 30 days, but it wasn't. And so there was a lot of times like that where I was kind of like, okay, I'm not going to take vacation this weekend. I'll wait till I'll take it Monday through Thursday. So I'm going to get charged for 4 days. I might as well get 4 days off, right? And so I was really maximizing my amount of time. And then with the military, they allowed you to keep up to 60 days is what they called rollover. You're talking about use or lose. Once you go over 60 days, which is after 2 years of not using a vacation, you start losing those days and you can't hold them anymore. So what most people in the military will do is they'll earn enough leave to kind of get to 60. And then every year they'll burn their 30 days that they earned as they're earning 30 new days. They'll use that up. And so they always have 60 days. And then whenever they retire or get out of the military, they basically can take their last 2 months off with pay as they're looking for a new job.
Got it.
And so I did a very similar thing to that. In my company, we actually have an unlimited paid time off policy. And I know we're going to talk about this because we did mention compensation, right? At the beginning of the show. And a lot of people think like, hey, unlimited paid time off is an awesome benefit. I think it is. I implement it in my own company. But I will also tell you the dirty, dark side of that. Kip, do you know the dirty, dark side of unlimited paid time off and why companies really support doing it? You're the employee.
Well, let's see. I could guess a few things. So I might guess that they don't want accruals for unpaid time off in their accounting, in their statements.
100%. That is exactly the right answer. So as a company, if I give you time off and you generate it based on 8 hours per month, right, or of PTO,
whatever the accumulation rate is,
and you never took it, and I fire you or you quit, I have to pay you for that time. So now you'd have 12 days that I have to pay you for, and basically pay you an extra 2 weeks of pay when I fire you or you quit or you get let go or whatever. And so a lot of companies move to unlimited paid time off for that reason, because with unlimited paid time off, there is no benefit that they have to pay because there is no accrual. Now, that's not the reason why I use it at Dion Training. I use it because I really do want my people to take their time off. And we work as a very distributed global team. Most of us work from home. Very few of us work in the office. We don't keep a standard 9 to 5 because we have people on all sorts of parts of the world. And so for us, being able to say, hey, you take your time when you need it. If you're in the Philippines, take off for your Independence Day. If Kip's in America, he can take off for his Independence Day. And those are 2 totally different Independence Days, right?
Right.
So to be able to support a global diverse workforce, it made sense for us to use unlimited PTO. And I want people to take time off. But I will tell you, when you're negotiating an offer and a company says, we have unlimited PTO, that's really good if you use it. But if you don't use it, it's actually screwing you because they're not paying you for the time you're not using. But again, that goes against what we're saying, which is take the time off, enjoy the time off, right? You want vacation days.
Now, I've never worked in an organization that had unlimited PTO, but I've heard about it and I've read a few articles and I've talked to some people. And you want to talk about like a downside, right? One of the things that I've heard is that because there are no hard and fast rules, it can be difficult to know how much is too much.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can't just say I'm gone for the next 2 months,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that just doesn't work. Even though theoretically you should be able to do that under the policy, and so it gets really weird because you're like, well, how much is too much? And then it's very supervisor dependent, right? Because your supervisor is really the one that's making that judgment. So depending on who you work for, you're getting more, or you're getting less. And one of the things I read is because there's so much ambiguity, is that people tend to not take even like a typical amount off. Like they're not even taking 2 or 3 weeks or whatever would traditionally be granted. And so please, if you're in an unlimited PTO situation, don't let that happen to you. Just talk to your supervisor and just say, hey, this year I'm looking for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, and get it sorted out in advance so that you don't end up on the short end of the stick on that one. All right. So, all right.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as somebody who runs unlimited PTO in my own company, we have people who have taken off a month at a time, and we've let them, and we don't have a problem with that. But again, it depends on you, right? If I hired you and next week you say I'm going away for 4 weeks, we're gonna have a problem, right? And person who's gonna take 4 weeks, like they had a very valid reason for taking 4 weeks. They were gonna go fly over to Europe, and it's expensive to fly to Europe. And they're like, look, if I'm gonna fly 8 hours over there, I want to be able to be there for 2, 3, 4 weeks and really explore the area. And we said, you know what, we agree with you. That's great. Go for it. And we basically came up with a plan. They told us like 6 months ahead of time. They said, hey, in September, in fact, last month, the person said, I'm going to be gone for 4 weeks. And we planned on that since March. And so leading up to it, she worked a little extra. She got all her stuff done. We made sure we weren't in the middle of a big project when she was leaving, and all her responsibilities were covered by other people on the team, because we all knew she was going to be gone. And we can then plan for it because she gave us such a long period of time. We could say, if Kip said, well, I want to take off a week during that time, I'd be like, I'm sorry, Kip, you're on the same team and this person's already going. So you're going to stay and cover for her. You could take your week in October if you want. And that becomes one of the other friction points with PTO is everybody's trying to take it at the same time. For instance, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, a traditional time everybody wants to go off. That can become a big problem for you. And so it does become a management thing, but good managers can work their way through this. And you as an employee can work your way through this too. My guidance to you, if you are somebody who is offered unlimited PTO, is the first year you're there, I would treat it almost like regular PTO, right? And what I mean by that is most of us get 2 or 3 weeks a year of vacation time. And so you can take 2 or 3 weeks off either as a chunk or as days throughout the year. But the longer you're with the company and the more valuable you are, the more they're going to let you take vacation because they don't want to lose you, right? And so in the person I'm talking about, they're a really good employee. And if they said, hey, if you don't give me this 4 weeks, I'm going to leave, I'd be like, yeah, take your 4 weeks, right? And we just figured out a good time that works for her and works for us and makes it work for everybody. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with a flexible or unlimited vacation time policy. I personally love to take time off, but I also work crazy hours. So there will be some weeks, last week and this week, I've been working 80 hours a week. But this weekend, I'm actually going away for 4 days and I'm not even turning on my phone. I will just be disconnected completely. And that's kind of my payback for those 2 weeks that I work crazy hours. And I take, a couple of days off here and there every month. I take off a couple of weeks here and there every year. And I still go on vacations quite a bit. And my boss is okay with that because I'm still getting my work done.
Yep. That's great insight. Thank you. So for those of you who don't have a lot of experience working in a corporate environment that it's typical for cybersecurity people, this stuff might all be some kind of a mystery to you, right? You don't really know what's considered to be okay. So I hope this tip on making sure that you get your time off is going to be very helpful for you to help you avoid burnout.